In the wild world of rocket science, it's always been about one thing, squeezing every single last drop of performance out of your machine. It's this constant, relentless quest for the perfect, most efficient burn. And today, we're going to unpack the absolute pinnacle of that quest. But, to really get why the solution is so brilliant, you have to understand the problem first. So let me ask you, what is a rocket engine's single worst enemy? It's not the heat. It's not the insane vibration. Not even the vacuum of space. Nope. It's something way more fundamental. It's waste. Simple as that. Every single molecule of propellant that doesn't actively help push that rocket forward is a total loss. It's just dead weight you had to haul all the way up there, energy you can never get back. And for decades, a kind of shocking amount of it was just dumped overboard. Okay, so this slide breaks down the two big approaches. On the left, you've got the traditional open cycle. It's simple, sure, but it's so wasteful. To run its own pumps, it burns a little fuel and then, poof, just vents that dirty exhaust straight out the side. But the closed cycle on the right, that's the holy grail. It cleverly routes that exhaust back into the main chamber so that everything contributes to thrust, zero waste. So this idea of a closed cycle, that's the solution to the waste problem. It's a design that promises the ultimate efficiency, but actually pulling it off, well, that's one of the toughest challenges in all of engineering. This is the staged combustion cycle. So what is it exactly? Well, the staged combustion cycle is basically a design where you burn your propellant in, you guessed it, stages. The main goal? Incredible fuel efficiency. The main drawback? It's just brutally, fiendishly complex to get right. This diagram here shows you the basic idea. Now don't worry about all the lines just yet. The key thing to notice is that small box labeled preburner. That little guy right there? That's the secret sauce. It's the ingenious first step in this whole hyper-efficient process. Let's break that down. So first, a tiny bit of propellant gets burned fuel-rich in that preburner. Right now, it's not about making thrust. It's just about making a whole lot of hot gas. That hot gas then screams through a turbine, and that provides the raw power to drive the massive main propellant pumps. But here's the magic trick. Instead of just dumping that turbine exhaust, all of it gets piped directly into the main combustion chamber to be burned again. This way, you get the absolute maximum possible thrust. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is wasted. This technology feels so modern, right? But its story is actually this amazing piece of Cold War history. For decades, the West had absolutely no idea that the Soviets had not only cracked this design, but had actually perfected it. The idea was first kicked around way back in 1949. By the 60s, this brilliant Soviet engineer, Nikolai Kuznetsov, had built the NK-33 engine for their own moon rocket, the An-1. After that program failed, he was ordered to destroy all the engines. But he didn't. He secretly hid them away. Flash forward to the 1990s, and a group of American engineers literally stumble upon them in a forgotten warehouse. They were pristine, decades old, and more advanced than anything the US had at the time. And this quote just captures the shock perfectly. See, American engineers knew this cycle was possible in theory, but they believed a version that ran oxidizer-rich, which means pumping hot, incredibly corrosive oxygen gas through your plumbing, was just unfeasible. They figured it would literally eat the engine from the inside out. But there, sitting in that dusty warehouse, was stone-cold proof that the Soviets had done it and had perfected it 3 decades earlier. But the story doesn't end there. That incredible Soviet design was really just the beginning. The next logical leap, the next step in complexity and performance, was to ask a simple question. If one preburner is good, what if you had 2? And here you can see that evolution, side by side. On the left is the standard cycle with its single preburner. But on the right, that's the ultimate version, full-flow staged combustion. It has 2 separate preburners. One is fuel-rich to drive the fuel pump, and the other is oxidizer-rich for the oxidizer pump. It is, by far, the most complex design, but boy does it offer some game-changing benefits. So why go through all that extra trouble? Well, by splitting the work, everything gets a little bit easier on the machinery. The turbines can spin at lower temperatures and pressures, which means they last longer and are way more reliable. And that is critical for reusable rockets. It also gets rid of a notoriously difficult seal and lets you crank up the main chamber pressure even higher, boosting efficiency to its absolute theoretical limit. And this is what it looks like in the modern era. This is a schematic for SpaceX's Raptor engine, the very first full-flow staged combustion engine to ever actually fly. Just look at the complexity there. 2 preburners, 2 turbines, all feeding into that central chamber. It is an absolute marvel of plumbing and engineering. From the drawing board to reality, this is what one of those preburners looks like during a test fire. And get this, all of that incredible power isn't even meant to create thrust directly. It's just the first stage, designed only to power the engine's own machinery. It's literally an engine to power an even bigger engine. Which brings us right up to today. This concept, born in the Soviet Union 75 years ago, and once thought completely impossible in the West, is now the literal beating heart of the most advanced rockets being built in the world. Just look at the engines powering today's Titans. ULA's workhorse, Atlas V, uses the RD-180, a direct descendant of that secret Soviet oxidizer-rich design. NASA's giant SLS uses a fuel-rich engine, and the next-generation rockets like Vulcan and New Glenn, they're using oxidizer-rich designs. And of course, SpaceX's Starship is using the full-flow Raptor. This once secret Soviet tech is now the very foundation of modern spaceflight. It's just incredible to think that a 75-year-old concept, born from a simple desire to stop being wasteful, now powers the absolute cutting edge of space exploration. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What seemingly impossible idea today is going to be powering the rockets of tomorrow?